During wedding shopping, my fiancée ran into her ex. The moment she saw him, she told him, "Leave this place right now." Her ex smirked and said, "Relax, your fiancé won't find out." Neither of them realized that I was standing close enough to see everything and hear every word. I immediately walked away, got into my car, and drove off. And later that evening, after I had done what I knew I had to do, she called me crying and said, "What have you done? Please don't do this. My name is Andrew. I'm 31 years old, and I work as a logistics coordinator for a mid-sized freight company in Pennsylvania. It's not glamorous, but it pays well enough that I was able to save up for a down payment on a house and start planning a wedding. I'm the kind of guy who keeps his head down, does his work, and tries to build something solid. I don't like drama. I don't like games. I value honesty above almost everything else because I grew up watching my parents lie to each other for years before they finally divorced when I was 17. I promised myself I'd never let that happen to me. I met Kendra 3 years ago at a mutual friend's barbecue. She was bright, funny, easy to talk to. She worked as a dental hygienist and had this way of making everyone around her feel comfortable. We clicked immediately. 6 months later, we were officially together. 2 years after that, I proposed on a weekend trip to the Poconos. She said yes. We set a date for June of this year. Everything felt right. Or at least, I thought it did. About 4 months before the wedding, we started doing all the typical stuff: venue, catering, invitations, cake tastings. Kendra wanted to go shopping for wedding decorations and some last-minute items at this upscale home goods store about 40 minutes from where we lived. I wasn't thrilled about spending a Saturday afternoon looking at centerpieces, but I loved her, so I went along. We drove there together in her car, because mine was in the shop getting the transmission looked at. The store was one of those massive places with vaulted ceilings and rows of expensive furniture. We wandered through the aisles for maybe 20 minutes. Kendra was looking at table linens. I was checking my phone, half paying attention. Then she suddenly grabbed my arm and said, "I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back." I nodded and kept scrolling through work emails. She walked off toward the back of the store. I figured I'd look around a little, maybe find a couch to sit on while I waited. That's when I saw her. She was standing near the entrance to the home decor section, facing someone. A man. Tall, dark hair, fitted jacket. I didn't recognize him at first, but the way she was standing, stiff, arms crossed, caught my attention. I moved a little closer, just enough to get a better view without being obvious. I couldn't hear them at first, but I could tell the conversation was tense. Then I heard her voice, sharp and clear, "Leave this place right now." The guy smiled. Not a friendly smile. A knowing one. He leaned in slightly and said, loud enough for me to hear, "Relax, your fiancé won't find out." I froze. Kendra's face went pale. She glanced around nervously, but she didn't see me. I was standing behind a display of decorative mirrors about 15 feet away. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The guy kept smiling. He said something else I couldn't quite catch, but Kendra shook her head and backed away from him. He laughed, actually laughed, and then walked past her toward the exit. I didn't move. I just stood there, watching her. She stayed in place for a moment, looking down at the floor, then pulled out her phone and typed something quickly. Then she looked around again, took a breath, and started walking back in my direction. I turned and walked the other way. Fast. I didn't want to confront her there. I didn't want to make a scene. I just needed to get out. I left the store, got into her car, she'd left the keys with me, and drove home. My hands were shaking the entire time. I didn't answer when she called. I didn't respond to her texts. I just drove. When I got home, I sat in the driveway for a long time, trying to process what I'd just seen and heard. Your fiancé won't find out. What the hell did that mean? Was she cheating? Had she been seeing this guy? Was he an ex? And why did he think I wouldn't find out? I went inside and immediately started looking through everything. I know it sounds paranoid, but I needed answers. I checked her laptop. She'd left it on the kitchen table. She didn't have a password on it, which in hindsight should have been a red flag. I opened her email. Nothing suspicious. Then I checked her social media messages. Also nothing. But then I opened her phone records online. We were on a shared plan, so I had access. And that's when I saw it. Over the past 3 months, there were dozens of calls and texts to a number I didn't recognize. Late at night, early in the morning, during her lunch breaks. I pulled up the call log and my stomach dropped. Some of the calls lasted over an hour. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling like the floor had disappeared beneath me. That's when she came home. She must have gotten an Uber. I heard the front door open and her voice calling out, "Andrew, are you here? What happened? Why did you leave?" I didn't answer. I just sat there at the kitchen table with her phone records pulled up on my laptop. She walked into the kitchen and stopped when she saw me. Her face went white. "Andrew, who is he?" I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. "Who is who?" "The guy at the store. The one you told to leave. The one who said I wouldn't find out." She opened her mouth, then closed it. Then she started crying. "It's not what you think," she said. "Then tell me what it is." She sat down across from me, wiping her eyes. "His name is Brendan. He's my ex. We dated for 2 years before I met you. It ended badly. He's been trying to contact me for the past few months. I've been telling him to leave me alone. Then why are there dozens of calls between you two?" I turned the laptop around so she could see the screen. Her face crumpled. I didn't want to worry you. He was threatening to show up at the wedding. He said he still loved me. I was trying to manage it. Manage it? Kendra, you've been talking to him for months. Hours at a time. And you never thought to tell me? I didn't want to ruin everything. We were planning the wedding, and I thought I could handle it on my own. Handle what? What is there to handle if you're just telling him to leave you alone? She didn't answer. She just cried. I closed the laptop. "I need you to leave. Andrew, please, get out. Go stay with your sister. I need time to think." She left that night. I didn't sleep. I just sat on the couch, staring at the wall, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do. Update 1 the next morning, I called my brother, Eric. He's a lawyer, family law, mostly, and he's always been the person I go to when I need advice. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, which I appreciated. When I finished, he said, "You need to postpone the wedding. At minimum. You can't marry someone when you don't trust them." "I don't even know if I want to postpone it," I said. "I think I want to call it off." "Then do that. But you need to be smart about it. You've probably already paid deposits. You're going to lose money. And if she fights you on it, things could get messy. I don't care about the money. You will. Trust me. Just think it through before you do anything." I appreciated his honesty, but I'd already made up my mind. I spent the rest of that day making calls. I contacted the venue, the caterer, the photographer. Most of them had non-refundable deposits, but a few were willing to work with me. I explained that there was a family emergency and the wedding needed to be canceled. I didn't go into details. Then I called my parents and told them. My mom cried. My dad just sighed and said, "I'm sorry, son. Do what you need to do." That evening, Kendra started blowing up my phone. Texts, calls, voicemails. I ignored all of them. Finally, around 9 p.m., she sent a text that said, "Please, just let me explain. I love you. I made a mistake." I didn't respond. Around 10 p.m., my phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hello. Is this Andrew?" A man's voice. Calm. Confident. "Who is this?" "This is Brendan. Kendra's ex." I almost hung up. But I didn't. "What do you want?" "I want to talk to you. Man to man. I think you deserve to know the truth." "I'm listening." He paused. Then he said, "Kendra and I didn't just talk on the phone. We've been seeing each other. For the past 4 months. She told me she was going to call off the wedding. She said she realized she still loved me. But then she kept pushing the date back, saying she needed more time. I got tired of waiting. That's why I showed up at the store yesterday. I wanted to force her hand. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. "You're lying," I said. "I'm not. And I can prove it. Check her credit card statement from March 15th. She stayed at the Marriott downtown. With me. We were there for 2 nights. I hung up. I pulled up her credit card statement. We had a shared account for wedding expenses. And there it was. March 15th. A charge for 2 nights at the Marriott. She'd told me she was visiting her friend in Philadelphia that weekend. I sat there staring at the screen for a long time. Then I called her. She answered on the first ring. "Andrew, tell me the truth," I said. "Right now? No more lies. Were you sleeping with him?" Silence. "Kendra." "Yes." Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. I don't love him. I love you." I hung up. Then I blocked her number. Update 2 the next few days were a blur. I moved through them on autopilot. I called the rest of the vendors and officially canceled everything. I contacted our landlord and broke the lease on the apartment we'd been planning to move into after the wedding. I packed up all of Kendra's things that were at my place and left them on her sister's porch. Eric helped me draft an email to all of our wedding guests explaining that the wedding was off due to unforeseen circumstances. I didn't give details. I didn't want to air everything publicly. Not yet. But word travels fast. Within a week, half of our mutual friends knew what had happened. Some reached out to offer support. Others just disappeared. Kendra's friends, predictably, tried to paint me as the bad guy. They said I was being too harsh, that everyone makes mistakes, that I should give her another chance. I didn't care what they thought. What I did care about was the money. Kendra and I had been splitting the wedding costs 50-50. She'd contributed about $12,000. I'd contributed the same. With everything canceled, we'd lost about $18,000 total in non-refundable deposits. I didn't want her money back. I just wanted her gone. But then she started texting me from a new number. Begging. Pleading. Saying she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. Saying she'd do anything to fix it. I ignored her. Then, about 2 weeks after everything fell apart, I got a call from an unknown number. Again. This time, it was Kendra's mother. Andrew, please. Just talk to her. She's a mess. She loves you. She made a mistake, but she's willing to do whatever it takes to make it right. Mrs. Callahan, I appreciate you calling, but I've made my decision. It's over. You're throwing away 3 years over one mistake. It wasn't one mistake. She lied to me for months. She slept with another man while planning our wedding. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. She hung up on me. A few days later, I found out through a mutual friend that Kendra had moved in with Brendan. Apparently, once I called off the wedding, she decided to give things with him another shot. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me just felt empty. But then something strange happened. About 3 weeks after I canceled the wedding, I got a message on social media from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Haley. She said she was Brendan's ex-girlfriend. And she wanted to talk. We met for coffee. She was blunt. Brendan is a con artist, she said. He doesn't actually love Kendra. He just likes the chase. He did the same thing to me. He convinces women to leave their partners. Then once he's won, he loses interest. I saw on Facebook that Kendra moved in with him. I wanted to warn you, but I also wanted to warn her. I didn't know what to say. I'm telling you this because I don't think you deserved what happened, Haley continued. But I also don't think Kendra knows what she's gotten herself into. Brendan is manipulative. He'll chew her up and spit her out. And when he does, she's going to come running back to you. That's not my problem, I said. I know, but I thought you should know. I thanked her for the coffee and left. I didn't plan on doing anything with the information. Kendra made her choice. I made mine. Update 2 months later, Kendra reached out again. This time, through Eric. She'd apparently contacted him and asked if he could mediate a conversation between us. He called me and told me what she'd said. She wants to talk. She says Brendan broke up with her. She's saying she realizes now that you were the one. She's asking for another chance. I laughed. Actually laughed. Tell her no. I already did. But she's persistent. She said she's willing to go to therapy, sign a prenup, whatever you want. Eric, I don't care. I'm done. I know. I just wanted to let you know. I hung up and went back to my life. I'd started seeing a therapist myself, which helped. I'd also started going to the gym more, spending time with friends I'd neglected during the relationship, and focusing on work. I got a promotion in July. I was doing okay. But then, in late August, something happened that changed everything. I got a call from the police. Apparently, Kendra had filed a harassment claim against Brendan. He'd been showing up at her workplace, calling her nonstop, even threatening her. The officer wanted to know if I had any information that could help their case. I told them about Haley and gave them her contact information. They thanked me and hung up. A few days later, Haley called me. The police contacted me. I gave them everything I had on Brendan. Turns out, he's done this to at least 4 other women. They're building a case against him for stalking and harassment. Good, I said. There's something else, Haley said. Kendra reached out to me. She apologized. She said she didn't realize what she was getting into. She asked if I thought you'd ever forgive her. What did you tell her? I told her that forgiveness isn't the same as reconciliation, and that she needs to move on. I appreciated that. Final update, it's been 6 months since I called off the wedding. Kendra has stopped reaching out. I heard through a mutual friend that she moved to North Carolina to live with her cousin and start over. Brendan was charged with stalking and ended up taking a plea deal. I don't know the details, and I don't care to. As for me, I'm doing well. Better than I expected, honestly. I sold the house I'd been planning to move into with Kendra and bought a smaller place closer to work. I've been dating casually, nothing serious. I'm not in a rush. My brother keeps telling me I dodged a bullet. My mom keeps asking when I'm going to find someone nice and settle down. My dad just nods and says, "You'll know when it's right." I think they're all correct in their own way. Looking back, I don't regret calling off the wedding. I don't regret cutting Kendra out of my life. I don't even regret the money we lost. What I do regret is not trusting my instincts sooner. There were signs, small things that didn't add up, moments where she seemed distant or distracted. I ignored them because I wanted to believe everything was fine. I won't make that mistake again. Edit 1. A few people have asked if I ever confronted Brendan directly. I didn't. I didn't see the point. He wanted attention, and I wasn't going to give it to him. Edit 2. Someone asked if Kendra ever tried to reach out after she moved to North Carolina. She sent one email about 3 months ago. I didn't open it. I just archived it. Maybe one day I'll read it. But not today. Edit 3. For anyone wondering, yes, I'm okay. Some days are harder than others, but I'm getting through it. And honestly, I feel lighter now than I did a year ago. That has to count for something.